very welcome to this relatively brief discussion, but obviously by your presence in such numbers is testament to the fascination of the area. I don't want to take up too much time by way of introduction. It's just, I think, worth saying one quite important thing, which is that whistleblowing, when you raise the issue, is often seen really as being about the work of journalists and as being essentially a media issue. And it's really important to say that it is not. The rights of journalists are really of only marginal concern to people who accept journalists in relation to this. And I think perhaps one of the reasons why we haven't taken the issue of whistleblowing seriously enough in the society is because it's been corralled into being an issue around journalist protection of sources or a very particular kind of professional set of concerns. Whistleblowing is really about two other things. It's firstly about right and wrong, and about the right of citizens to communicate according to their consciences, which is really quite fundamental to the operation, not just of an open, transparent, democratic society, but also to the operation of a sustainable economy. You don't need me to labour the point that the absence of a whistleblowing culture in Ireland, the absence of a general capacity for people to shout stop when in their own work they encounter things that are clearly wrong, that absence has had catastrophic consequences for our society. It's one of the fundamental reasons why we're in the hole we're in. And every one of us will be paying the price for the absence of a culture in which the right and the duty, indeed, of citizens to communicate according to their consciences has not been recognised. The second thing that whistleblowing is about the right of citizens in a democracy to receive information. So it's about the right of people to give that information, but it's also about the right of citizens to receive information. And again, I won't labour this point because I think it's obvious enough that you cannot have a functioning democracy if citizens cannot make informed choices. And citizens can't make informed choices unless they are getting the information, unless they're actually in a situation whereby they can understand in some detail what kinds of decisions are being made on their behalf, how power is being used, how money is being used, and what the operative culture within that society is. So we're actually talking about something that is not about Hollywood glamour, but is actually about the very stuff of a democratic society itself. And we're talking about it not just in terms of the big heroic cases that sometimes get made into movies, but about things that actually affect vast numbers of people in their ordinary everyday lives. Many of the most important whistleblowers in Ireland and elsewhere are not people who set out to be heroes. On the contrary, very often they're people who have been victimized, or they're people who have gone through a process themselves of living with something that weighs heavily on their own consciences for a very long time before they finally feel that they're forced to speak out. So whistleblowing is actually about the question of how we protect the decent, natural, honest instincts of ordinary citizens in their daily lives, and how we break a culture of silence, which has been so corrosive in the society in terms of the extraordinary operation of abusive institutions for very, very long periods of time, in terms of the absence of public morality in large parts of our political system, and in terms of the absence of ethical standards within very large parts of our business culture. So we're dealing with something that's both very intimate and I think has enormous consequences. Eugene McErlean, I think you probably know, is an outstanding example of someone who has seen it as his duty to bring to light some of the aspects of the operation of the banking system that he himself experienced in Allied Irish Bank.